going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast Will Spencer. We're all boxing fans, but it's nights like tonight where you look back and go, you know what, that is exactly why we're boxing fans. There's a lot of shit in this game, but you look at 10 rounds of that and you think, fuck me, that is exactly what it's all about.
Do you know what? This is mad, mate. You know, I've got to take it off to Izzy, GBM, you know, for putting on this show. It's like you got a big show feel in a small hall venue. You know, the production was great. The fights were brilliant. What we got there, you know, was absolutely insane. Reece Mould had to bite down on his gum shield. He had moments there against the undefeated Garza, who was 18-0. 4 going in, but we know what Reece Mould's all about. He was proven, Gars was unproven, but what we found out tonight, actually, that Gars can fight. He can fight on his gum shield and he can give, you know, he can give it, mate, and he can go away from that, take a lot from that, and he can come again a much better fighter. But Reece Mould, what a performance. You know, after the first couple of rounds, I thought, there's no way this fight is going 10 rounds. No way in the world this fight is going 10 rounds. And, it did. I just can't believe it, if I'm honest. But that was just insane, wasn't it? You know, like, it's one of them fights where you go, mate, why was there not a TV broadcast showing that? Can you hear my voice? The state of me.
Barely. I know you lost your voice about a week ago.
Yeah, but it's gone again.
But it's gone again. Yeah.
It's gone again, mate. And I've got to do it all again tomorrow. You know, back in London. You know, at Wembley. It's going to be an interesting night, that one, but that was what we saw there was insane. Yeah, Oscar, mate, that was what grassroots small hall boxing is all about. Kids are looking for opportunity. They put it on the line. You know, everyone that gets in there treats their fights as a world title fight. They put it all on the line and they deliver. That was a fantastic show. But that fight to end it was insane, man. That was that was a fight of the year contender.
You know what, I look at it, Spence, and I know me and you have sat there when there's been about 80 people in York Hall, and they call it small hall. But I look at it as well in the sense that we've been there during the COVID shows, and people telling you need 50-50 behind closed doors. We come out of closed doors, and I feel like we haven't really got that. Tonight, they showed that when you get that, that's what it's always about, isn't it?
Mate, absolutely. You know, like, that's what I'm saying. When you get these small hall shows, right, what they do is they want to make decent, even matches because of the paying public. People come here and they go, they're paying good money. We had 1,400 seats here, all sold tonight. I think actually Izzy has pulled a little moody there. He's pulled a slippery because I'm seeing more bums on seats than there should have been there, mate. I think
bums on the floor.
Do you know what I've done, mate? I think what he's done is he's recognised that people have heard about this show and he's gone outside after there's a full house. He's gone outside and he's tapping people up for a score and letting them in through the back door because that was like a full house there, mate. And now credit where credit's due. Izzy's done a good job there and all the fighters delivered. Like I say, them small hall shows, the small hall promoters, they want to deliver for the fight fans. So you do get 50-50 fights and that was proven tonight. There was a lot of even fights in there, you know. Even the guys that looked like they were losing more convincingly than the others, they were still putting up big fights. They were still, you know what I mean? They were still biting down on their gum shields and coming back. It was good all round. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, mate, it was an absolutely superb show at GBM March. And once again, I've got to ask you about the Joshua Frank list, obviously. I know you spoke to Umar on Zoom post-fight announcement. We had a press conference a couple of days ago. Perhaps not the fight everyone wanted, but it's obviously the fight we're going to get. Now you kind of seen Joshua kind of speak to the public and speak to the media about this. Do you kind of feel a little bit different about things?
No, I interviewed him both yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
He's a good guy, Jermaine, by the way, isn't he?
He's a great guy, mate. Really great guy. You know my history with Anthony Joshua. Spoke to him about, I think he kept using the word change. So I said to him in the interview, what is the change, Josh? What are you looking for right now? You've teamed up with Derek James. You've taken yourself over to the States, which tells us you still got the appetite. You still want to regain that world title for a third time. You want to go down in the history books. But what is the change? You know, Derek James is a type of trainer that maybe gets people to fight their, plant their feet a little bit more. He makes people, you know, maybe fight a little bit more. Is that what Josh is looking for?
Is that what we want?
Is that, well, listen, I think for Anthony Joshua to get back to where he needs to get to, he needs to rediscover that rawness that once took him to a world heavyweight title. I think he recognises that as well. You know, it's one of those ones where you go, right, Josh, you need to maybe come away from trying to box a little bit, trying to be technical, because that's not really your thing. What you were very successful at is being explosive, being exciting, fighting with your heart on your sleeve, you know? And that air of vulnerability about you is what people like. I think that's what we need to rediscover. Has the psychological damage been done? We don't know that. Anthony Joshua won't know that, because in his own head he's going, no, I'm ready, I'll get back in there, but the defeat to Ruiz, you know, then he come back and he boxed the way that he boxed, and that worked for him. Then he lost to Alexander Usyk 2 times. And some fighters get psychological damage and they can't overcome that, you know, and then it takes a little something away from them. And in boxing, you can't have time. Boxers can't think. They got to act instinctively, do what they do. So like when,
Think on your feet as a boxer.
no, listen, so when you go in, to give you an example, so when the first bell goes, you know you've got a game plan, but you don't know what you're going to do. It just fucking happens. Do you know what I mean? It happens instinctively. But when you start thinking about it, that's when problems occur. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? That's when problems occur. You think, oh, should I be throwing a jab? Bam, bam. Oh, I've been hit with a couple of jabs. Do you know what I mean? You just got to act instinctively. Do it. That's what Joshua was really good at. And I'm hoping that finding the right trainer will be that missing piece of the jigsaw, because I think that's where he's been struggling. He's been moving around, and I asked him yesterday as well, why is it? He said, well, I just like taking information from all different trainers, and I feel like I'm adding stuff into the locker. But now I just feel that there's been something missing, and I'm hoping Derek James, who's a renowned trainer, he works with some good people like, you know, Errol Spence and people like that. So the guys work with top fighters. So let's just hope that he can install into Anthony Joshua what's missing. I don't think it's the physical side of things. I think it's here. And we won't find that out until the first bell rings. And let's see, because let me talk about Jermaine Franklin, who you mentioned, who's a lovely geezer. But actually what he come with no credentials. No one gave him a shot against Dillian Whyte. He left with bags of credentials. And actually a lot of people, 99% of people felt he beat Dillian Whyte. But then all of a sudden, Dillian gets pissed off because Jermaine gets the opportunity. But I got to tell you, with Anthony Joshua, he struggles with the shorter guys. He's always struggled with shorter guys. Jermaine Franklin's 6'2". Joshua's like 6'7". So it's going to be one of those. You go, Josh, you taking a gamble here, because when I spoke to Jermaine, he's like, you know what? That's my lottery ticket. He said, I felt like I won against Dillian Whyte, didn't get the decision. He goes, and then, you know, I'm thinking, well, all right, I'm a man. I'll fuck off back to America. I'll get on with doing what I'm doing. I mean, the guy's story is mad, man. Before the Dillian Whyte fight, he's working working in a factory building roofs and shit to support his 3 kids. He was potless. Dillian Whyte fight. Now he's got this opportunity. He gets a massive payday, but more than that, he gets a lottery ticket, mate. Because if he beats Anthony Joshua, he puts himself in the mix. He recognises that, and he sees this as a huge opportunity. He's up for it, man. He's up for it. I mean, when he boxed Dillian Whyte, he come over, he looked like a little fatty, didn't he? But he did. But when I see him the other day, not saying that I'm in great...
a bit of an air of invincibility about him,
Not saying that I'm in great shape, mate, but I'm looking at me and I'm looking at him going, there's not a lot in this. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, look, it's going to be interesting. It's interesting, but for the casual fan, they won't really give a shit, or they won't really know who Jermaine Franklin is. But let me tell you, he's live wire and a dangerous opponent. Joshua's career is really hanging on this fight, so he needs to win, and he can't win in 7 or 8 rounds. He needs to win in style. You know what I mean? He needs to go out there and make a statement. We'll only find that out on April the 1st.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife for saying completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.